Remember ChatGPT? When it hit the scene, everybody kind of went crazy for AI, right? Well, get ready because round two is here and things are about to get a whole lot more interesting.
It really is kind of mind-boggling, isn't it, how quickly things can change in tech? I mean, just look at DeepSeek. This company from China just came out of nowhere, it seems, and like totally shook up the AI world.
And you know what they say, right? Data is the new oil.
Yeah.
You send us DeepSeek's privacy policy and their terms of use, which is really smart considering just how much data these AI systems are using these days. So let's do a deep dive here and figure out just what DeepSeek is, how it works, and what this all means for you.
You know what's really fascinating about all this is that DeepSeek isn't just like some ChatGPT clone. It's like something totally new, like a whole different beast. I mean, think about it. Poems, code scripts, music, emails, letters, basically anything you can write, this thing can just crank it out like it's nothing.
No, it's like ChatGPT though, right? Built on these large language models, those neural networks that are trained on just massive amounts of data.
Absolutely. But here's where things get really interesting. Okay, so DeepSeek reportedly cost a fraction of what OpenAI spent on ChatGPT.
Well, hold on.
Like, we're talking $6 million
Seriously.
versus $600 million.
That's got to be like 100 times less.
It's a 100-fold difference.
Okay, but how is that even possible? I mean,
Yeah.
Are they using some secret training method or something? Do they cut corners? I mean, that kind of cost difference is a little eyebrow-raising, don't you think?
Well, the details about how they're training this thing are still pretty hush-hush.
Mm-hmm.
But it is possible that they've found some new, more efficient training method or maybe even a whole different data source, something we haven't even thought of yet.
So they found like a shortcut, basically. A cheaper and faster way to get the same results. That changes everything.
Oh, yeah. It's a total game changer. And think about what this means for the AI arms race. If they can get this level of performance for so cheap, the playing field is totally different now.
And don't forget about their open platform, where any developer can build their own apps on top of DeepSeek's AI engine. It's like they're saying, come all build the future of AI with us.
I know, right? Imagine a whole ecosystem of AI-powered apps all running on DeepSeek's brain power. We're talking like next level stuff here, like personalized education tools, AI doctors who can diagnose you. It's insane when you really think about what's possible here.
Yeah, but let's not get too carried away with all the shiny new toys just yet. We got to talk about the big elephant in the room here, data privacy. Because if data is the new oil, DeepSeek is one thirsty machine.
It's true. They are guzzling it up. Both their privacy policy and terms of use lay out exactly what information they're collecting. They get the basic stuff, your birth date, username, email, phone number, all that.
But it's not just the basic stuff, right? They also get everything you put into the system, all your text audio files, you upload feedback you give, and even your entire chat history. It's like they're building a digital copy of your brain.
Well, they say they use all this data to, operate and improve the service and enforce their terms and, for safety and security.
Yeah, which I guess makes sense. But there's another piece to this whole thing, isn't there? I mean, they're also using all that data to, develop the service further and train their models, right?
Exactly. That means like everything you put in there, all your thoughts, your creative sparks are being fed into this machine to make it even smarter. It's kind of like a weird symbiotic relationship when you think about it.
Makes you wonder who's really in control here. Are we using the AI or is it using us? It's kind of freaky when you really stop and think about it.
It really is, and this is where we start seeing some red flags, too. DeepSeek's policy says they share data with service providers and business partners, including folks involved in advertising and analytics.
And they say they share data with law enforcement and governments if they think it's necessary.
Yeah, so there's a lot to think about here when it comes to privacy and how your data is being used, especially
given where DeepSeek is from. Those two words, China and data, are enough to make anybody pay attention.
Yeah, for sure. The whole political situation definitely adds another layer of complexity to this conversation.
Okay, so we've covered a lot already, but we're just getting started.
Yeah.
We've talked about DeepSeek's capabilities, that mind-blowing cost difference, their open platform, and, of course, all the data they're collecting and those privacy red flags. But now we need to get into the real meat of the issue here.
Yeah.
What does all this mean for you, the user, and how can you navigate this new AI-powered world?
Exactly. Up next, we're going to explore what rights you actually have when it comes to your data and how you can actually use DeepSeek safely and responsibly.
So let's take a quick breather and then we'll dive back in.
Okay, so picking up where we left off, let's talk about the elephant in the room, DeepSeek's Chinese origins and what that means for your data.
It's not really a secret that China has some pretty different views on data privacy than we do in the West. And when you consider how much information DeepSeek is collecting, it's only natural to wonder how all that data might be used, especially with all the political tension going on right now.
That's true. And it's important to remember that China's laws and regulations around data are definitely not the same as ours. The Chinese government has way more access to data held by companies operating within their borders, and that includes foreign companies too.
So even though DeepSeek's privacy policy in terms of use say they're going to protect your data, there's still a chance that the Chinese government could just come in and demand access to it, and DeepSeek might have to hand it over.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where things get a little murky. The Chinese government has said that they're committed to using AI for good, things like improving public services and helping the economy. But there are some concerns that AI could also be used for, surveillance and social control.
Yeah, it's like all those sci-fi movies where they're using AI to track people and predict their behavior. Kind of creepy to think that some of that stuff might actually be closer to reality than we think.
Right. But it's important not to get too carried away. Don't jump to conclusions or anything. But at the same time, we got to be aware of the potential risks here and start asking some tough questions like what kind of safeguards are actually in place to protect user data from the government? How transparent is DeepSeek really being about who they're sharing data with?
These are all really important questions, and DeepSeek needs to address them head on. Transparency is absolutely key here, especially when you're dealing with such sensitive information. Users need to know what they're getting into when they use a Chinese-developed AI platform like this.
And it's not just about individual users either. I mean, DeepSeek's success has really shaken up the entire AI landscape. We're talking about a potential $2 trillion shift in market cap. That's money flowing out of U.S. tech companies and straight into the Chinese market.
It's like a total earthquake in the tech world. Silicon Valley has been the center of the AI universe for years, but now China's coming up fast, and that has huge implications for everything from national security to economic competitiveness.
Yeah, some analysts are even saying that DeepSeek's success could be a sign that China is about to overtake the U.S. as the global leader in AI.
Which means the stakes are even higher than we thought. This isn't just about some cool new app anymore. This is about who controls the future of this insanely powerful technology.
And it's all happening so fast, too. I mean, DeepSeek came out of nowhere and just blew up overnight. This insane pace of development is both exciting and really unsettling.
It's like we're all strapped into this rocket ship heading for who knows where, and we're not even sure who's flying the thing anymore.
Yeah, it's a wild ride, but we're not totally powerless here as users. We still have a choice. We can choose which AI tools we use, and we can demand more transparency and accountability from the companies that are making these technologies.
I like that we need to be informed, we need to be engaged, and we need to make our voices heard. The future of AI isn't something that's just going to happen to us. It's something we're all creating together.
And those choices we make, they have real consequences in the real world.
So we've talked about the big picture, the geopolitical stuff, and the potential risks. But let's bring it back down to earth for a second. What does all this actually mean for you, the everyday user?
If you're thinking about using DeepSeek or any other AI tool for that matter, you really need to be aware of the trade-offs you're making. Convenience often comes at the cost of privacy.
So let's get practical here and talk about some real tips on how to protect your data and navigate this crazy new AI world safely and responsibly. All right, so we've talked about the big picture stuff, the impact of DeepSeek, the privacy worries, and the whole China thing. But let's zoom in for a minute and get practical. What can you actually do to navigate this crazy new AI world?
Well, first things first, and I really can't stress this enough, read the fine print. I know nobody actually reads those terms of service or privacy policies.
Yeah, they're like the digital version of a sleeping pill.
Right. But in this case, taking a few minutes to skim those documents could really save you some headaches later on.
I guess so.
Seriously. Because buried in all that legal jargon are some really important details about how DeepSeek is actually using your data. Like, for example, did you know they can use your inputs to train their models even after you've deleted your account?
Wait, really? So even if I hit the delete button, my digital ghost is still hanging around in the AI machine, helping it get smarter? That's kind of creepy.
It is something to think about, isn't it? And it really highlights the fact that with AI, deleting data isn't always as simple as it seems. The AI has already learned from what you put in, and that knowledge sticks around even if the original data is gone.
So what can we do about it? Are we just stuck at the mercy of these AI overlords?
Not necessarily. I mean, awareness is the first step, right? You got to understand what you're actually agreeing to when you use these tools.
Yeah.
Then you can start making smarter choices about what you share.
Like maybe think twice before uploading that embarrassing karaoke video to DeepSeek's new video editing feature.
Exactly. And there are some practical things you can do to protect your privacy, too. Use strong passwords, enable two-factor authentication, be careful about what you share online, maybe consider using a VPN, all the usual digital hygiene stuff.
But even if I do all that, it still feels like a losing battle sometimes. I mean, DeepSeek is collecting data from everywhere, from the apps we use to the websites we visit. It's like they're building this giant digital map of our lives, whether we want them to or not.
Yeah, it's true. Data collection is becoming more and more widespread, but that doesn't mean we should just give up and surrender our privacy. We have to keep pushing for stronger privacy laws and demand more transparency from companies like DeepSeek.
And we need to keep having these conversations about, the ethics of AI, the
Hmm.
potential risks of data misuse, and the need for these companies to be held accountable.
Absolutely. The genie's out of the bottle with AI. It's here to stay, and it's only going to get more powerful. But the future of AI isn't set in stone. It's something that we're all shaping together with every click, every interaction, every choice we make.
So as you explore the world of DeepSeek and other AI tools, remember, be informed, be aware, and most importantly, be engaged. Ask questions, demand answers, and hold these companies accountable.
The future of AI is too important to leave to chance. We have to build it together thoughtfully and responsibly.
Well said. This deep dive into DeepSeek has been fascinating, thought-provoking, honestly, a little bit mind-bending.
It's definitely a topic we'll be revisiting as things develop.
Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive. We'll be back soon with another deep dive into the world of cutting-edge tech and what it means for all of us. Until then, stay curious.